There are people all around the world, women and men, who are celebrating International Women's Day, and we're connecting with different versions of that kind of celebration. And we just love this particular one. Andrea McGinlay has been celebrating International Women's Day with her local community since the early 90s, and she joins us now. Hello, Andrea.
Hello, Jo. Hello, Angela.
Tell us, what is it that you do with your community?
We meet, we share coffee, we talk about what's happening, what's going on, what we're thinking about. We celebrate births, deaths, marriages, divorces. We've been meeting since '88. We don't just meet for International Women's Day. This group of friends meets casually and together at a coffee shop once a month. Some of us meet in between the month, and a small group might meet for coffee someday or another day. Sharing coffee or tea or a glass of wine is important, and having the space to talk together and listen carefully.
I did want to ask you, though, that you, a few years ago, created an anthology of writing. You have the book there, and you contributed a story yourself. Can you tell us about that?
I'll show you the book. It's called Women's Words, a local anthology. And on the front there you see the Northcote Hill with the town hall and the churches on the hill, and silhouettes of some of the women who were in the group. And this cover was designed by a member of the group, and the book was published by one of the women in the group who was a publisher. One of the stories that I wrote was about my neighbour, and one of the preoccupations of women often is tidiness, cleanliness, making sure that we and our children are neat and tidy, and sometimes that can become a big preoccupation. And my neighbour was probably 5 years older than me, Italian, she was born in Italy, and not a blade of grass in her garden stood out. Everything was ordered. Her house was always meticulously tidy. I was really jealous of that, but because with two little boys, I could never keep the house as tidy as I would have liked. And I'm not tidy by nature, and neither is my husband. So the story is about Maria, the neighbour. I think in the book I call her Giovanna. But Maria, I came home from work one day, and Maria was pacing up and down the path outside, talking loudly to herself. And I said, "What's up? What's up?" She said, "There's a burglar in the house. He's in there now." So I rushed into my house, which is next door, called the police. And when I came back, Maria had gone. And I thought, if the guy has a gun, where is she? What's going to happen? The policeman came to the door, went in the door, and Maria came rushing out, grabbed me, and said, "Look, look, 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 what has he done, what's he done?" And her house was an absolute mess. They'd pulled the bed apart, they'd pulled all the books out, stuff was out of the fridge. She said, "Why did they look for something in the fridge?" Don't know. So it was big. It really was a big frightening thing. The guy had disappeared. The police caught him down in the next street. And he didn't have a gun. But I said, "Maria, come round to my place and we'll have a strong coffee." So she came round. She speaks with somewhat of a thick accent, and we walked in the door, and she says, "Andrea, you didn't tell me he'd been here first."
That is very funny.
What a great story.
I'm the mother of a comedian.
You are a mother of a comedian. We know you as Danny McGinlay's mum, and we both, Ange and I, love Danny. We love him for his comedy work and also his work in football. So, yeah, we're very fond of him. And yes, we can see where he gets his sense of humour, can't we, Ange?
We absolutely can. As a documentary filmmaker, I can't help but think I wish I'd documented your group's history over the past 30 odd years, because you would have seen so many changes. You said people come, people go, and it would have been a really good story to tell, following a group of women and the challenges that they have in their lives and the celebrations. Would have been a really uplifting story to tell.
Yes, it would have. But isn't this what you're doing on Broad Radio?
Yeah.
You are.
Yes, we are.
Interviewing people, you're talking to people, and a book was something that we could do. That was our medium. Mm-hmm. And books are still important, but I think what you're doing is really inspiring and really uplifting. And I'm going to do my bit to make sure everybody knows Jo Stanley's on Broad Radio, and you can get it through Facebook and YouTube. And we'll get more women of my age around to subscribe.
Oh, thanks, Andrea. That's really...
I think what you're doing is so important.
Well...
So, okay, you could document 30 years, but you're doing it now in the present.
Amazing. I'll tell you what, Andrea, neither Ange or I would be doing what we're doing without women like yourself of your generation. And I have to acknowledge that, feminism stands as it is today because of the work of the generations before us, because of women such as yourself. And we are indebted to you for that. What can you tell us just finally, what's something on International Women's Day that you look at now and you think, wow, when you were in your 20s, you really felt like that would never have happened?
Single-sex marriage is one of them. We never thought. There were people in our group who didn't even acknowledge that they were in love. They were sort of on the edges. To have women and men able to come together and share their lives together, I think is a huge change. My sister is married to her friend Claire. They're now wife and wife. And it's made, and we are a traditional Catholic family. I'm not anything now. I follow the spirit of the world. But that was a huge change in our lifetime. And I think that's really important. And it's in that space, in your space, that women can be free to be themselves. We can, and we are all different. It's just, that is the hugest change I could think of.
And a profound and joyous change. And so much to celebrate in that. And of course, as we say, there's more work to be done. What's something you would like to see change moving forward towards gender equality?
I would like to see misogyny out of Parliament, out of the men's space. I would like us to feel strong, to feel ennobled, to be who we are, and not have to fit into the shirt and tie brigade. Does that make sense?
Oh,
absolutely.
Hear, sister.
Thank you, sister. Congratulations to all the women who are watching your programs and to all of us who are celebrating International Women's Day. I will say, go and have a look at the statue, the artwork of the Great Petition in MacArthur Park, which is a symbolic thing of the petition that women put together in 1908 in Victoria. It wasn't accepted till 1925, and Indigenous women didn't get the vote till 1962, but it was begun. And the statue itself it's inspiring. There were people before us, there are people now, and there are women coming. I have granddaughters who I have great hopes for. One of them will run the world. She runs us. She's only 4.
I love that.
Oh, yes. Andrea, it has been an absolute joy to speak with you. Oh, there it is. There's that beautiful
Well done.
statue. Thank you so much, Andrea. You take care.
And now, keep up.